Hey everybody, good morning. Of course, it's Christmas morning, and I couldn't not come on here and say Merry Christmas to you all. I don't know how many people are on Facebook this morning, or even if you'll check the group. I kind of hope you do. But I wanted to say Merry Christmas because, of course, it's such a special day of the year. But I also just wanted to remind you of some really important things about this day. Whatever your situation is, if you're with family, if you're alone, for some people this is like a really good day. For other people, this is a really hard, painful day. Some of you, this will be a day of bliss. You see people that you love, and it will be all good. You're opening things you want to open. You're watching people open things you purchased for them. For other people, it's been a really hard year. Maybe you didn't have the money to buy things you wanted to buy for people, or maybe you have lost people this year, and it is just a painful day. So I just want to acknowledge everybody and all the emotions that are wrapped up in this day. After all, this is a group about overcoming emotional eating, and there are good emotions, and those good emotions can trigger eating things that you will later regret or that would cause harm to your body. And then there's really negative emotions. There's that the soothing that you feel like you need when you are experiencing pain or grief. And there's probably a combination of all those things here in the group. So I wanted to acknowledge you today, and also just remind you that whatever you're feeling, you can't change what your body, what your mind, what your spirit needs. You can't change it with food. Feelings come and go, and they might be particularly intense today, one way or the other. You might tend to give into that celebratory, it's Christmas and I'm just going to eat. Or you might tend to give into the, I'm grieving and I want to stuff down that feeling and I want to soothe myself. But nothing changes about what you actually need today. What you need is to be well, to be healthy, for your body and your mind to operate in the best possible way it can. And I just want to encourage you, number one, to remember that. If you need to soothe today, think about what else you can do. Is there a friend or someone that you can reach out to and make a personal connection with if you're struggling with loneliness? Ed never fills that gap. Food never fills that gap. Only a connection with another person, even if it's just an online friend. I encourage you to reach out to someone today. If you're sad, what else could bring you joy? Because we know that, eating carbs and junk doesn't really bring us joy. It simply just delays that feeling that's going to come right back. Sadness comes roaring right back. You can push it down for a minute, and then you have sadness plus regret. But I hope that you will address your real needs today. And I know that's not easy. I really do. I truly understand that on a personal level. It is not easy, but food isn't going to fix it. So I wanted to remind you of that. And I also wanted to just say that you get to decide how this day goes. I think it takes waking up and saying, here's how I'm going to treat this day. Here's what I will do. Here's what I won't do. Maybe you're allowing yourself to have some extra carbs today, but your carbs are from maybe a keto dessert or extra vegetables or things like that. I just want to tell you, if that's where you are in your life, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with making an adjustment because it's the holiday, but it needs to be on your terms. It does not need to be led by the voice of sabotage, right? So make a decision about how you will eat today. And the only person that it really needs to matter to is you. You decide, what do I allow myself on this day, as long as it's not something that's harmful to your body that you're going to need to recover from days and days and days. Because the danger in saying, well, I'm just going to have one piece of actual real pie that has wheat and sugar and flour and all this stuff, is that it will take days and days and days to recover from. Even if you're back in ketosis, your body's still going to be reeling from that. And then even a bigger issue than that with us, people who struggle with emotional and compulsive eating and eating disorders, is that we think it's just going to be one day. And of course, the next day, because it's in our system, then it just takes over. Or we think it's just going to be one piece of something, and it tends to be something else. And maybe it's just one piece in front of people, but then they leave and you're scarfing down more. It just always, it's never in control, because we are not truly moderators. We're just not. And that's not a bad thing. It's good that we can't moderate sugar, because we get to be healthier. But I just want to encourage you to remember that today is no different in terms of what you need, and to set some boundaries for yourself going into the day and stick to them. And it's okay if it doesn't look like a normal day for you. Use what you've learned about yourself, what you can and can't handle. Focus on the meaning of this day, and really just celebrate, the fact that in 1 week too, we're going to be going into a brand new year, and you don't want to go into that new year dragging a bunch of mess and issues that you've created that began on this day. Because I'm telling you, it tends to, when people indulge on Christmas Day, they tend to, it gets in their system, and they tend to say, oh, I'm just going to start again on the 1st, and it turns into a week-long binge. I just don't want that to see that happen to any of you, because I care about you. So, I've set my boundaries for the day. You set your boundaries for the day. And most of all, just wanted to tell you, Merry Christmas. You are all worthy of great things. And whatever your situation is, food is not going to change it, good or, it's not going to change it in a good way. So, take a look at where you are, acknowledge your feelings, and then meet your needs in a better way. If you tend towards celebratory eating, maybe that's okay, and you say, all right, I'm going to celebrate with eating, but it's going to be because I'm eating 2 cups of Brussels sprouts instead of 1 serving of Brussels sprouts. Depending on where you are. Or maybe you're someone who can handle eating a little bit of sweetener, and you say, I'm going to allow myself to have a keto dessert today, and that's okay too. But if you don't come up with some parameters, you won't, it won't end well. Again, and if you're if you're celebrating, I encourage you to celebrate in some other way that doesn't have food. But if you choose to have food as part of your celebration, you decide that. And if you're struggling in some way today, of course the group is here. You know what? I'll check it throughout the day. And hopefully, if you need encouragement, I'll give that to you. But I just encourage you to reach out to a person if you're struggling today, or if you're lonely, or you're sad, instead of being alone with Ed. But anyway, have a wonderful, wonderful day. I thank you for being here this month, and looking forward to a call with you guys tomorrow to talk about just accelerating through that last week of the month, and then ramping up to what we're going to do in the new year. And I have so much hope and so much anticipation for what's to come. So anyway, have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon.